here today with Ascent Cannabis. What are you guys doing? Ryan and Ethan. Sorry, man, I looked over there. I'm so bad with first names.
Hey, man, I'm the same way. I get it.
So what have you been up to, man? Tell us about your product.
So we're Ascent Cannabis. We've been in the industry since day one in Oklahoma. We actually started as whole leaf dispensary, and then we ran for about a year. Opened up a processing lab and kitchen, Honey Creek Labs and Ascent Cannabis, and then about 6 months after that, opened a small bougie farm, Whole Leaf Farms, and we've been running ever since. We're based out of Tulsa. We do a variety of different products, some that aren't in the market anywhere else. So we're the first in Oklahoma to do mushroom and cannabis infused gummies. We're also big proponents of Delta 8. So we've led the way in Delta 8 distillation and then utilization in Oklahoma, I would say, along with a variety of standard cannabis products. So your Delta 9 tincture, your Delta 9 vape, obviously bulk flower, pretty much any way you can consume cannabis, we've dabbled in over the last 3 years.
Okay, I see you brought some goodies with you too.
Yeah, those are my pride and joy. So I've grown mushrooms for 7 years in Oklahoma as a mushroom farm, Earthwise Mycology.
Okay.
And then when I got together with the guys at Ascent, we had the great idea of combining the benefits of cannabis with the benefits of medicinal mushrooms.
Right.
And this was right about the same time that the country started talking about magic mushrooms, psilocybin-containing mushrooms, and using them in research for PTSD, end-of-life care. So suddenly the mushroom energy in the country and in the state picked up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, these three mushrooms that we use in our products are just as powerful as the psychedelics that everybody's very excited about right now.
Okay, so let's dive into that a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the psychedelics that people are into and why. I mean, let's talk about the actual medical benefits of that.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to Ryan.
Hi, what's going on,
Ryan,
man?
yeah, man. Ryan, you're with Ascent.
Correct.
And so you were, before you met...
Ethan's been with us since day one. We started off at Whole Leaf bud tending and running the dispensary there. And then when we started talking about processing and gummy manufacturing, he had a little bit of background, and then he kind of just ran with the processing. And ever since, he's been heading that up, that division, and making sure that we really are on the cutting edge of a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
But, especially those mushroom gummies.
What makes you put that much trust in someone? I gotta know.
Truthfully, my family, we knew each other growing up. Our parents knew each other, and
Yeah.
so I knew him growing up, but he's about 10 years younger than I was. So I didn't know him, but I knew him growing up. So
Seemed to be a pretty good kid.
yeah, and he knows what he's talking about. That's the key.
Yeah.
He can talk about mushrooms and mushroom gummies and the effects for hours, and it's riveting the entire time, and you learn.
Right.
I'll sit here. I'll learn 10 things today, just sitting here listening to it. I've heard
Yeah.
this 20 times. It's awesome.
No, I mean, every time I haven't ran into you very many times. I think we've talked like twice.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but each time I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, because like most people don't realize the real medicinal benefits of magic mushrooms. They think it's just something that we're going to take and party with and, have fun. Of course, yeah, you can do that. But let's talk about the medicinal benefits.
Well, so I will say, as medicinal as psilocybin-containing mushrooms are, I think that we're just about to see the door open on just what mushrooms will do for us, psilocybin and otherwise. So we've contained our nighttime gummies are a reishi gummy, Ganodermum lucidium. It is a mushroom that contains triterpenoids, ganoderic acid, compounds that help your body rest, restore, and relax. So we paired that with our PM gummies, the lion's mane and cordyceps that we use in the AM gummies. Both of them have secondary metabolites. Cordyceps has cordycepin. Lion's mane has hericium, and they're compounds that have incredible effects on the body, improve circulation, help with gut microbiome habitat, as well as increase energy levels, restore neurogenesis in the brain. It's incredible, and these are, just like cannabis, in their raw state, potent medicinal forms. just naturally. We do very minimal processing to get these compounds out of these mushrooms and get them in the gummies, just like we do with the THC. They grow straight from the ground as is, and it's pretty incredible. I know I jumped from your psychedelic question, but no, I like to really dive in on that when I first start, because I'm a big proponent of MAP, psychedelic research, and more of it. But that was the first mushroom for me. These have become the mushrooms that I take every single day, that are like part of my diet as well as my supplementation. Okay. And I see an amazing benefit on par with the potential for psychedelics.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind have you personally? Do you mind sharing some?
No. So when I first got into mushrooms, the first mushroom I ever took was a magic mushroom. I ate it when I was in high school. I think it was my senior year. And I thought this would be really cool. You can change like the colors of what you're seeing, and it's kind of like an old school computer where you can turn the little knobs on the screen and the screen manipulates. And it was for like the first 4 hours, and then everything started to manipulate, right? And I realized that what I thought psychedelics were and drugs was completely off the mark. And at this time, I was like raising chickens. I was going to go to school for cannabis cultivation in a state where cannabis was illegal. I had really big, lofty dreams, and it immediately switched my life path down the road of like entheobotanicals. And entheobotanicals are anything in the botany world or in the fungi world that are entheogens. Drugs that increase empathy. Psychedelics would be considered entheogens, but in their natural state. So there's usually like a cultural element too. And I was just fascinated with what are these things. There's a whole encyclopedia of them. There's hundreds of years of cultural references to these plants on all these different continents, and I didn't know anything about them until I took the one mushroom, right? And so that led me down this long path of researching, studying what all this is and what it is to other people, where our mushrooms came from, why the U.S. takes psilocybin mushrooms in the first place, and then led me to where I am today. Yeah.
You're in it, man.
I am so in it, man. There's no turning back.
What about you? Are you that knowledgeable about?
No, not even remotely. No. He is by far the expert. I've done magic mushrooms in my youth. I take lion's mane and cordyceps every morning for the energy and the clarity that I receive from it. And I've taken the reishi for sleep, but I don't really have much of a problem sleeping. I can sleep pretty much anywhere.
Gotcha.
So that's rarely a problem for me.
Yeah.
But but no, his expertise far eclipses mine.
Have you tried these, Katie?
No, but I'm actually really interested in the daytime ones.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have a thyroid, so my body can't naturally produce energy. So that's something I really struggle with on a daily basis. So I'm actually really interested.
Yeah.
You'll have to let me know how it is for you,
I
because
definitely will.
cordycepin isn't a stimulant in the way that like caffeine would be a stimulant. So caffeine's a CNS stimulant. It squeezes the adrenals and gives you like momentarily energy for a couple hours, right? Cordycepin actually works on the cell's ability to absorb oxygen and just turns that dial up a little bit. So you're getting an energy rush, but it's not from the same sector of your body that a typical energy rush would come from, like an energy drink. You're over oxygenating. You could call it that, and that's what you're getting, as well as your blood flow dilation. So you're feeling the blood flowing further through the body. You can see your veins dilating and being a little bit more pronounced, kind of like a nitric oxide. But that's where the energy is coming from, and it gives people like you an alternative. We have a lot of caffeine-sensitive patients in Oklahoma, and it's great to be able to say, like, nope, there's no caffeine, there's no ginseng, there's no typical stimulant. Yeah. This is a stimulant in a weaker sense, but also in a different sense that, to me, is very beneficial. I don't want to be overstimulated. I want to be, like, functionally stimulated, and that's what I get from these.
About how many of these gummies do you have in the morning to get to?
So I only need one.
Okay.
Our AM gummy has 300 milligrams of lion's mane extract and 300 milligrams of cordyceps extract. And for me, one in the morning and one about 2 or 3 in the afternoon will be my typical dose.
Wow. Okay.
It's just low enough on the cordyceps, and then as much lion's mane as I can get in my body, I'm all for it. It does not have a stimulating effect. Its effects are less noticeable compared to the reishi and the cordyceps, but it's great for the brain. It's great for mood. Stabilization. That's the big one I noticed with lion's mane was I suffer from depression from time to time, and it will just hit, and then I'll just be down. And I can feel that approaching when I get off of a lion's mane regimen, when I haven't taken it in a couple days. And then when I get back on it, I forget even that that's a possibility for me.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And that's a bold claim, but like it
No.
really does seem to work for me, anecdotally, that way. It just takes that potential off the plate for me. And compared to what I've tried in the past, it's pretty nice.
Right. Especially if you're looking at something that's natural, and you're not compounding chemicals inside of your body like everything else.
Right.
You know?
You could, in theory, just eat these fresh. The lion's mane, in particular, they're a delicacy. The only reason why it's beneficial to get them in a powdered form is because they don't last very long. So dry them and extract them to preserve them, more so than because it's better that way. One of my good friends runs OK Mush Co., and they sell fresh lion's mane at the Tulsa Farmers Market, and they sell out every weekend. But you can go get like a highly delicacy mushroom that also has the medicinal benefits and is delicious, locally grown. I mean, it's pretty sick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. There's so many people that are close to all of us that would benefit from this, especially our soldiers.
Yeah.
People that have come back and, really suffering, from PTSD. We've heard so many stories of this helping with that. So, anyway, I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I'm glad that you stopped by the show. That's for sure.
Man, I'm happy. This is my first podcast to be on. I was actually really excited when you said it. I was like, yeah, I'll be on a podcast. This is a real podcast. It was pretty cool. So I'm honored to be being recorded. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.